Hello, I'm Matt and welcome to Badger Workshop. With the side walls framed, it's time to start work on the end walls. I've built several shepherd's huts with this curved roof and considered doing the workshop the same, but shepherd's huts come in at 7 foot and I wanted the workshop to be 8 foot. Then I found a supplier that would do them at 8 foot. The end walls need a curve that matches this, and also it needs a supporting beam in the centre, so I'm using the roof sheets as a template. Just keep your eyes on the pencil and try and ignore my boxer shorts. This is some 18mm structural plywood that I'm going to cut this curve out of. This piece can go in the centre of the workshop to support the beams, so it's as wide as the workshop and it needs to sit on top of the side walls, so you can see the curve then flattens out. Hard to explain like this, but later on you'll see exactly what I mean. Now this is totally me just making my life hard for myself. The most practical thing to do would have been to make a flat roof or a single pitched roof. But I have a whole shelf dedicated to books on log cabins and tiny houses and shepherd's huts, so I wanted to make something a little more interesting. I need 3 of these supports, so after I got the first one done, I trace it out and cut another 2. Then the 3 pieces need laminating together, so I just spread out some wood glue on it. Previously when I've made shepherd's huts, I've not needed this central support because the longest they've been is 14 foot. But this workshop's going to be 20 foot long, and that's just too long a span for one piece of wood to stretch without sagging considerably. Get it all clamped up and then leave it to dry. Then I come back with a sander. I blame the tool and say that the jigsaw doesn't leave the neatest cut, but it's probably my technique. So it took a bit of sanding to get it all nice. I made the workshop 2.4 meters wide, and that's how long a 2x4 is. Unfortunately, plywood sheets, or I mean OSB sheets, are 2.44, so I've got to take 4 centimeters off. I'm going to need 2 sheets for either end, so 4 sheets in total need cutting down. I can use this curve I've made as a template. I spent a bit of time making sure it was the perfect position either end, and then I could draw around it with a pencil. Then unfortunately it's back to more jigsaw work, so on 2 of these pieces I need to cut that curve out. I do try and think things through and work out what would be easier to do now before I actually build the walls. I decided one of those things would be to add these joist hangers while I've got everything on the floor, and it's easier to mark out where the centre point is. The first one goes on the ridge of the curve, and then I have one either side of that, evenly spaced. This then needs to be mirrored either side of my plywood curve and on the other end as well. In the next video you'll get a much better idea of how that's going to work. Now to get the end walls framed. It's all pretty simple to do because the top and the bottom bit are just the lengths the timbers come in, and then all the other bits I cut in a batch last time. Just lay it out and get it all screwed together. As it's the same width as the base, it's pretty easy to get it all lined up square, but when I actually get the plywood on, the OSB on, that will really square things up. Start with installing the piece with the curve. That's pretty easy to line up. As you can see from the sides, the start of the curve lines up with the top of the wall. Put a 2x3 along the top just so I can see where to shoot the nails in, and then I can go all around it, nailing it on. The bottom piece can then get installed, just getting nailed on again. I don't know if I mentioned this in the last video, but these sheets are longer than the walls by the thickness of the base. Hopefully you'll see when I lay it down. Yeah, you can kind of see it sticks out 4 inches at the bottom, so it's going to hook over the base, and that makes putting the walls up later much easier. That's the end walls all done. Next time we'll actually get the walls up and it really start taking shape. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe for more videos.